Hey class, we are moving on to chapter 13, just finished chapter 12, and we're going into statistics chapter, starting off with mean, median, mode, which are called measures of central tendency. Well, you've probably had this before. There'll be probably a few different types of questions you'll see that make you work a little bit differently than you have in the past. So, what we're talking about, measure of central tendency is a number that describes the middle of a set of data, or the center of a set of data. So, add these to your notes. What mean, median, mode is. Mean is you add up all the data, or the sum of the data, divided by how many there are. Median is the middle number when they're ordered from least to greatest. Okay? Or if you have two numbers that are right in the middle, you find the number halfway in between them, or the mean. And the mode's the most common, or occurs the most often. Alright? So, here's a set of data of how many representatives come from each state. Let's find the mean, median, and mode. So for the mean, I'm going to add up all these numbers and I'm going to divide by 10 because there are 10 states on this chart. So I'll add up all these numbers for how many representatives are each state. And if I divide by 10, that'll tell me the average number of representatives per state, which is the mean. The mean would be 23.6 when you add them all up and divide by 10. The median, I have to put them in order. So here I put them in order from smallest to largest. And then how I do it, I just start slashing off maybe 3 from this side, 3 from this side, 1, 1. Now when I get down to 2, I find what number is between these two. Well, these two are the same. Okay, so it's going to be 19. But if this is like 18 and 20, I would add those up and divide by 2 like they did down here. Okay, so when you get two numbers that are tied in the middle, you add them up and divide by 2 to find your mean. Your median. And then your mode is the most common. Well, I look at my chart here, I see two 13s and I see two 19s. So I have two modes, 13 and 19 are my modes. Alright, this is a really good question that you might see on a standardized test. Karen talks on the phone for this amount of time in the last 4 days. Here, 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 and here. If the next day she talks for 34 minutes, which statement is true? Is the mean going to go up and the median go down? Median stays the same, mean goes up, they both go down, or they both go up. Okay. Well, if I find the original mean, okay, if I add them up and divide by 4, which I did right here, my mean is 28. Now if I add up the 5 numbers and divide by 5, because now there's 5 of them, I get a mean of 29.2. Okay? So I add them up, divide by 5, I get that. So it can't be C. I can eliminate C because the mean definitely goes up. Now what happens to the median? Well, here's a list of my original 4 numbers. The median would be halfway in between the middle two, which would be 26.5. And then here, since I have an odd number, my median is 28. So my median went up from 26.5 to 28. So they both went up. Well, the one that says they both went up is D, right here. Okay, so that's just a way to do a multiple choice one involving mean and median. Okay, here's a guy to practice one. But again, I like these. So let's take a look here. Here are the original amounts that he makes raking leaves. If he drops the lowest amount, what will happen? Well, I think we probably have a pretty good idea what will happen, but let's see. Alright, so let's find my original mean. So I'm going to take 15 plus 10 plus 12 plus 8 plus 17, and I'm going to divide by 5. Well, that's 25 plus 20, 45, 62. 62 divided by 5 is what I want to calculate, which is 12.4. So my original mean is 12.4. If I take out my lowest amount, which is the $8, now there's only 4 numbers here, so I'll add those up and divide by 4. So I'm going to take 54 and divide by 4, and my new mean is 13.5. So my mean increased. So is anyone that say the mean decreased? Well, this one says the mean decreases. This one says the mean is unchanged. That's not true. The mean increases and the mean decreases. Oh, there we go. We found our answer. This is the only one where the mean increases. Okay, and as we can see, the median will also increase. Alright, here's some questions you'll be asked of what's the best one to use. So pause the video, write these down. Have these in your notes. When is it most useful to use the mean? Well, there's no extreme values. I mean, if you have a bunch of numbers in like the teens, you don't have a number up at like 100 or 80. Okay, that'd be an extreme value if it's not anywhere close to the other numbers. Okay, the median, if there are extreme values, the median is a good way to do it because it doesn't really calculate how big those numbers are, because you're going to cross that one off right away because it's right at the end. Okay, so the extreme values, you should use the median, and so there's also no big gaps in the middle of the data. All right, so you want them all kind of clustered together in the middle. That'd be pretty accurate central tendency. And the mode, if there's a lot of repeated numbers, the mode is one of the most useful things. Alright, so let's determine what's most useful in this situation. The table shows the high temperatures during the week, which one's best, and then use that one to find the central tendency. So I see all these numbers are around the 80s, lower 90s, so they're all pretty close together. Alright, so that kind of tells me the mean. None of them repeat, so that eliminates the mode. Okay, and median, there's no really real extreme numbers. So I'm going to use the mean here. And the mean, we just add them all up and divide by how many there are. Okay, so if I add all these up, I get 602. There are 7 days in a week, so 602 divided by 7 is 86. My mean is 86. The central tendency is 86 for that one. Alright, last one, this is a good one. There's an amusement park that wants to advertise their short wait times for rides, and no one wants to go to an amusement park with long waits. So they want to know which central tendency gives them the shortest wait times to advertise. So they want to advertise the short wait times. Which one do they want to use? Well, if you do the mean, add up all the wait times, divide by 10, because there's 10 rides, you get 33.4. Median, order them. Here's your middle two numbers. If I want to slash off 3, then 1, 1, there you go. Find the middle of those two is 23.5. So that's definitely lower than the mean. And then the mode, what's the most common? Well, there's two 17s. So the mode is 17. Which one's the smallest? Mode. You want to use the mode of 17 minutes as your advertising. Alright? Sometimes you want to use the biggest one. Sometimes you want to use the smallest, depending on what you're advertising. Alright? For wait times, you want the lowest one. Okay. Again, this should be fairly new, but they ask different types of questions with mean, median, and mode. And enjoy the rest of your day.